When you started off karting at Kerpen back all those years ago, did you allow yourself the dream of being a Formula One world champion? I imagine a 4-time world champion was just a dream too big.
Yeah, way too big. My head was very small, and I think my brain capacity was way too small at the time. So it was crazy, you know. At the time, Michael was racing, and obviously he retired. But I raced him last year, the last couple of years, which is phenomenal. When I started watching Formula One properly, you know, there were guys like Jensen, Fernando already racing, and even Mark, you know, when he scored his first point in the Minardi in his first race in Australia, I was on the TV, and you know, I was like that, you know. I remember with my father and the time we spent early mornings. So yeah, the dream was there, but it was beyond. Yeah, we didn't even dare to. I didn't even dare to dream about that.
Now you're in this exclusive club along with guys who you've looked up to and know all about. You're a scholar of Formula One. You love Formula One. To be mentioned in the same breath as Fangio and Michael Schumacher, what does that mean to you? Can you put it into words?
Not really. I struggle. I crossed the line and I was empty, you know. You could argue, yeah, well, you could see that one coming, but yeah, you know, I think as a team we've been very, very disciplined in a way that we didn't allow ourselves to drift away in our thoughts and think about the championship, etc., etc. We tried to really focus on the moment and take it step by step, you know, because I think there's a huge threat that you win and you try to win again, but you lose the focus because, you know, everybody taps your shoulder and says, oh, you're so great and you're doing so well, blah, blah, blah. And you have got a target that, you know, the big target, but you forget to do all the small steps. But just ask the team, you know, they managed to do it. Somehow I managed to do it, to really, you know, look at the small steps that it takes every single time, every race weekend, every Friday, you know, every Thursday even, every Friday, Saturday, to prepare the race and then to execute on Sunday. So I think we can be very proud of that, but it's very difficult to grasp, you know. I mean, I don't want to go on and on and on, but you can't put it in words in that moment.
Michael Schumacher's been talking on the BBC, saying that he congratulates you. I know you spoke to him just a few days ago. He welcomes you to this club and he says that he thinks you've got many more world championships in you. What does it mean to hear these words to someone, as you say, you looked up to him?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he was on my wall, you know, when I was a teenager. Later on, you know, I took him off.
Last year?
Had some girls in bikinis and, you know, that phase of my life on my wall. But, I spoke to him a couple of days ago and it's quite funny. And, you know, to nowadays have such a good contact to him, because I was 11, 12, you know, when I stood next to him and I was like, this is God. You know, you actually met God, because this guy can do amazing things in a car. And nowadays I look at him and I see the person rather than the driver. But if I then pinch myself, you know, trying to see the driver, seeing what he achieved, yes, he had a good car, no doubt, but he worked very hard for that, and I think people more and more start to realize that. So it's very special. I can't probably find the right words. You know, for all the kids, I remember 95, 96, 97. For all of us, we looked up to him. He was our hero.
And now you're in a position where kids will be looking up to you.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird because, you know, I'm still a kid somehow, and at least I feel like it. I'm getting older, yes, but yeah, you know, when you meet kids at the go-kart track, when I go karting a couple times a year, then can I have a picture with you? And it's funny because, yeah, you kind of see yourself as well, and you don't feel like that, you know. You feel still in a way like them, which I think is good, because it ensures that you got your feet on the ground and you still got the right values in life. But yeah, it's difficult to realize that it means so much in that moment, that when these kids meet you.
Just finally, back to the here and now. 6 consecutive races. You like breaking records. Rocky was saying you didn't get that fastest lap. I'm sure that doesn't really upset you. But what about...
Upset him, I think. Upset him, so...
What about the rest of this season? Are you going for this 13 consecutive wins?
Well, I think it's difficult to explain to people that every weekend is isolated, and yes, the last 6 weekends now have been phenomenal in terms of results, but the next weekend is a new challenge, and we try to prepare as much as we can. It's only a week's time to Abu Dhabi. I'm sure we have a lot of drinks, not necessarily water after then, but sure, when we are, I love driving the car, and I said it to the boys last night that I love to give everything I have on a Sunday, and for the whole weekend, really trying to give back, what they give me, hours of work, attention to detail. So, yeah, I mean, what are we here for? We're here to win.
Looking back, a Red Bull season can be split into two halves, before and after the summer break. In the first part of the season, Red Bull were always there or thereabouts, their race pace always strong but not always visible. Even so, in the 10 races to the Hungarian Grand Prix, Vettel won 4 times and consistently finished strongly elsewhere. Then after the summer break, changes to the Red Bull allied to Pirelli's reversion to year 2012 specification tyres turned an already good car into an utterly dominant one. Vettel has not lost a race since, and after his 6th win on the trot in India, he is on target by the end of the season to equal the all-time record of 9 consecutive F1 World Championship wins held by Alberto Ascari since 1953. Formula One is a team sport where the champion driver is the face of the team. The link between the driver and the entire team is the race engineer. Let's hear Red Bull team engineer Guillaume Rochlin talking about the hard work of the team that went into Vettel's achievement. But first, take a look at the outstanding records of Vettel.
Your voice the whole year round, usually trying to hold back your driver and slow him down, and finally we get to talk to you on what's been a very successful day.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It's been fairly stressful for the last 20 laps of the race, because we were very concerned that the issue that happened on Mark's car might happen on our car as well, so we were just trying to manage that as best as we could, because obviously at that point the worst we could do is just DNF, and we were just trying to just make it till the end.
So I mean, your job with him, and you work so closely with him, and tell us, there must be some magic, something very special. You look at that and go, this is why he beats everybody else.
I think it's a combination of things. And I think what people should not forget is that it's a lot of hard work. I know it sounds a bit cliche to say this, but I think a lot of people get to Formula One and think, this is it, I've made it. But actually, this is just the start. You've got to be working really, really hard from then on to get better and better, and Sebastian is really good at that. He works hard, and what he's got on his side as well is the youth, the fact that he's got a lot of confidence in himself, that nothing bothers him, and combination of all these things with natural speed just brings the result.
And today's 4th championship seemed just as important to him as his first, if I remember back.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you look at the way that he wanted to handle this race, it wasn't just a question of going through the motions. It was very important for him to be quick, to win the race, and to celebrate in the end. It's probably, you're right, it's actually an important point, is that it's all part of working hard, is the fact that you don't get complacent, you just want more.
So where do you go from here? You've got both championships in the bag. I mean, next year is going to be a huge change, but 3 to go. You can equal 13 victories in a season. That would be quite something, wouldn't it, as the record?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous to think about it. And it's just, I think, basically, it's probably why we're just carrying on. It's just we don't think about these things. It just, if you sit back and think about it, yeah, it's incredible. But we just want more.
And many people are thinking maybe in 2014 a huge change with the cars and the power pack, the engines, that maybe somebody's going to come along and finally challenge Red Bull again.
Maybe, I think, and that's probably what kept us going as well. Is that every year there's been something. You know, when we went from the Bridgestone to the Pirellis, we thought, well, maybe the car won't be as dominant, or maybe when the regulations don't change for 2 or 3 years, people will catch up, or there's always something. But that's what keeps us going.
But Sebastian, Adrian, Christian get all the glory, and behind are several hundred people, and you're probably at the front of that queue. It must be hugely satisfying for everybody at Red Bull.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. It's a privilege for me to be talking to you right now, but there's a lot of people back at the factory who are just as important. I'm just a relay between them and Sebastian, really.
Vettel comes out as a rare talent and a likable man. For a boy who started amateur karting at the young age of 3.5 years, Vettel has driven an incredible journey to become the youngest ever 4-time world champion at 26. Prudent salutes the new legend of Formula One, who has still a long way to go and script more records that will be hard to break. That's all we have in this show. It's now time to take your leave. Have a wonderful festive period, but make sure that you burn off those sweets-induced calories with some recreational sports activity. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.